Hello and welcome to another tutorial on my channel, Create by K. My hook is 3.5 millimeter. I start with my slip knot and I chain 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now for row 1, what I do is I go in each chain, make a loop and keep that loop on my hook. And I just do something like this to make sure they're the same height, and then I go with my finger right there to keep them like that. Then I move to the next chain and do the same, and I move my finger. I have 14 loops on my hook. Now to close row 1, what I do is I make sure this loop is in the same height like the other ones, and then I go with my two fingers like this to keep the loop the same height, and then I grab the yarn, pull through the first loop. This loop I just made right here on my hook, I make sure it's not too tight, and I grab the yarn, pull through that loop and the next one, that loop and the next one, and I repeat with all of them. For row 2, this loop I have on my hook belongs to this one right here. Then to the next one, I go like this with my hook, grab the yarn and make a loop. Then now, right here is a space, and then is this loop, and then is another space right there. In the first space, I yarn over and I go and make 3 long loops. I have 1, yarn over, go back, 2, then 3. Then I skip this one and I move right here on this space and make 3 long loops like this. Then into the next 8 loops I make 8 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right here in this space and then to the other space, I go with the 3 long loops. So I yarn over and into the space right here, go with the 3 long loops. I have 1, 2, and 3. Then I skip the loop right here, yarn over and into the space, another 3 long loops. Then I have 2 loops left. I go right here like this with my hook and make a loop, and into the last one, go right there, and then I take the other one from there too and make a loop. To close row 2, I grab the yarn and pull through the first loop. Make sure this loop is not too tight. Then pull through that loop and the next one. And now I will go and pull through the 3 loops we have just made. Here I chain 1 and then I pull through the next 3 loops. And now I pull through each loop each time 8 times because I have 8 loops, and it's this one, and then I pull through the 3 loops, I chain 1 and then I pull through the 3 loops right there, pull through 1 and the last one. For row 3, make this loop just a little bit longer and belongs to this one, and then I go to the next one and make a loop. And now right here where I have the 1 chain is a space. I will go with 6 long loops, yarn over, go right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then I go with my 8 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and again I repeat right here into the space the 6 long loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 rows. What I did was to repeat row 3 another 3 times. Now what I do is I have the loop belongs to this one, then I go to the next one to make a loop. I go with my 6 long loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then here I will go to 2 of them and make a loop, then to the next 2 make a loop, the next 2 make a loop, and the last 2 make a loop. I have 4 loops, then I go and make my 6 long loops, 3, 4, 5 and 6, then my 2 loops right there. Now I close how I normally close each row, chain 1 right there, pull through the 3, then I pull through my 4 loops, and now I pull through my 3 loops right there, I chain 1, pull through the 3 loops, and then my last 2 loops. For row 8 I make my 2 loops right here, then the 6 long loops, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then I go to 2 loops, make 1 loop, 2 loops, make 1 loop. So I have 2 loops, then I will go with my 6 long loops and then the 2 loops, and then I complete the row in the same way how I complete the row 7. For row 9 I make my 2 loops right here, and then I skip everything and I go with the 6 long loops right here. So yarn over, I go and make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then I need to go right here to make the 6 long loops. So what I do is like this, okay, yarn over, find the space, and then I go with the 6 long loops. I have 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then I go with my 2 loops right here. Now to complete, grab the yarn, pull through the first loop, then I go to the next loop, and now I need to go to the 6 loops. Grab the yarn, pull through the 6 long loops, then here I make a chain, then pull through the next 6 long loops, then I make a chain, and I pull through the next 6 loops, make a chain, the next 6 loops, and I pull through 1 loop and the last loop. I go with my 2 loops right here, then with the 6 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then right here what I do is I go on this chain and make a loop, and then right there and make another loop, so 2 loops. Then I go with my 6 long loops right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, then the last 2 loops, and I close 1 and 2 loops, then the 3 or 6 loops, chain 1, the next 6, then pull through 1, pull through the next one, then my 6 loops, chain 1, 6 and the 2, and now I repeat. I go with the 6 long loops, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then right here I have a chain, so I go right there and make a loop, then I go in this one, make another one right there, another one, and on this chain to make 1. So I have 4. So I will keep going and adding 1 here and another one right there until I will have 8 of them. In the same way I just show you right now. I finish my rows. I have 1 where I add 2 loops, then the next one I have 4 loops, 6 loops to the next one, 8 to the next one, and then I repeat the 2 more rows with 8 loops, and I have 6 rows, 1, 2, 3 4 5 and 6. To row 7 I repeat what I did here, 2 loops together, 2 loops together. So I have the 2 loops, then the 6 loops, then I go and I take the 2 together, again to the next one, 2 together, the next one, 2 together, and the last 2 together, and I have 4 loops. So what I do is I repeat what I did from here right here, and again and again.